All right, today we're going to do a little acrylic painting tutorial. Yes, I am going to go ahead and prep this canvas real quick. And when we come back, we're going to paint the Misty wood. Oh yeah, stick around. We started out, I just put some white and then I did the little gray spots where you see I just kind of washed in. Now we're going to throw just some indications of some trees. Now what I want you to notice is I always start out with a light pale washed out blue, and the closer I get, the darker and the more, I guess, vibrant the colors are going to be. And you'll see what happens. It's not just the placement, but it is the actual color that you use and the strength of the color, I guess you could say. There, see what I was talking about? Just take notice. It's not just the placement of these trees, but you see how when you get closer, it gets darker, and it just pushes those other ones way back off into the distance. It's a neat little trick. You have muted colors and lighter, muted, far away, and the closer it gets to you, the more vivid and darker the colors get. You always want to save your darkest darks and your brightest colors for right up close in the front of the painting. It gives it that more 3D effect. It gives it that depth. Just when you have those muted colors off in the distance and you put that dark one on, poof, it just pushes everything way, way back. And like Bob Ross says, it's your little world. You can put your happy little trees wherever you want. Same deal, man. Yeah, just kind of throw them in. And again, this is a beginner thing. Anybody can do this. It's not that hard. And I'm no teacher, so I think like I took a class and I know what I'm talking about. But every painting kind of starts out, at least mine do. They start out looking kind of funky because it's just kind of blocked in, blotchy, preschool looking art at first. But as it goes on and you put those little touches in, it all comes to life. So don't get discouraged if it looks kind of blah at first, because look at this. It looks like crap. Just big blotches of color and doesn't really look like anything. But it kind of comes together as we go along. And I'm putting some bushes or foliage or whatever is going to be here, right here in the foreground, in the front. Now I'm going to take a wash. You can see over there, my palette is over there on the left. And I just watered down some blue. You'll see me mixing it over there. And I'm just going to wash this blue on. It's just paint with a little bit of medium and some water. And that's what's going to give it that misty, hazy effect. You keep that center part right there, just keep that open. And that's where our kind of light's going to shine through the trees from there and kind of cascade down through all this. But again, it's not real hard. Just some blue, a little bit of white, and then water, and a little bit of mixing medium. And yeah, no, it's like you just painted all that and then you washed over it and now you're going to paint over top. Yeah. I do it that way just because that way I still know where they were and I don't have to start from scratch. It's just a little bit easier for me. But here you'll see I started with the dark right here up front, because I usually start farthest away and work towards me. But since I kind of already did that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these dark colors. And you can see again over there on the left is my palette. I'm going to get this back in here, put this the trees in real close, and the foliage, the grass, the bushes, whatever it is. I'm gonna dab that back in, get that reestablished, because we just want that stuff off in the distance to be washed out and misty. There. I'm gonna be jumping ahead a lot because I don't want this thing 2 hours. But there you can see the palette. I just added a little bit of brown and some white and lightened it up. What I had for those dark, and I'll do it again. I'll lighten that up again and put the trees back, because again, this one right here, you can see it's right next to that dark one, so they kind of end up in the same spot, and you would think they're right next to each other, but because it's a little bit lighter, it just pushes it back just enough for your eye to say, oh, it's not right next to it, it's back behind it, it's further away. And I'm not going to tell you what brushes I'm using and all that. I know a lot of people do, but I find it, use the brush that you're comfortable with, the one that you like to use. Some people use a liner brush, some people use a big round brush, other people, it's whatever brush you feel comfortable with. You want to make a line and you don't want to use a big old fat round brush, you want something with an edge on it, you want a dagger brush or a liner brush, use whatever you want. Because I know that's what I do. I mess around, I'll grab one and I'll use it, I'll go, I don't like this one. So I'll wash it out and toss it to the side and grab something different. Throw some more little branches, twigs and stuff up here in the foreground. See, it's nice and dark, so it's right here in your face, and it's pushing everything else back. And while we're doing that, I know someone's going to ask, what is that thing to the left up there at the top? Well, some of you ladies might know what that is. That is actually a brush holder or a brush dryer. What it is you don't want to leave your brushes laid flat, or you don't want them standing up per se with the bristles facing up in something to dry, because then the water runs down into all the parts of the brush and it breaks it apart, it loosens the glue and swells up the wood and does all kinds of stuff. So you want your brushes to hang bristles down while they dry. So this little gizmo up there, you stick your brushes up in there and they hang with the bristles down until they dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep putting more tree trunks in here. Now, down here I mixed a little bit of brown, green, and white. I muted out this kind of like a greeny brown, and that's for some foliage that's off into the distance. You see how it has a little bit of color in it, but see how it pushes it way back. All Now, I don't know why I put it in here. It was kind of a dumb move. I will go back and fix that later, but yeah, that's not supposed to be there. Now, it doesn't show up real good for some reason. I don't know why. I guess because of the lighting I had and the camera's lens isn't picking up. But what I'm doing here is I'm starting at that center point and I'm just brushing some white for the rays of the sun that are kind of coming through some of those trees and peeking through. Now we're going to go ahead and put some foliage up top up in the trees. Now you don't have to connect them to anything all the time. You can put them up top. Say they're on a branch that's out of frame, off the canvas, but you can see the leaves and stuff that's hanging down. So just put them around, dab them in there, put that little canopy in, bring this little forest to life a little bit. You can notice the palette over there, how I'm mixing. Lighten it up, dull it down with some white. Or push it away. And the dark stuff will seem closer. Now we're going to get down here, mixed up some green, pretty much straight out of the tube, didn't like mute it down with white or anything, and put some of the stuff down there in the foliage on the bottom. Now we're going to go up top and continue on, put some more foliage up top, put some more of that canopy in, give the trees a little bit of life. We don't want it too thick. We just want it to look like a, I don't know, a little spooky, a little eerie. Come down here to this stuff again here in front of us, and we're gonna think about that sun, those rays of sun just coming through, making it through all those tree trunks and over the foliage, and just lighten up a little bit the tops of the stuff. Because remember, we're here, we're looking out into the sun, so what we're going to see isn't going to be lit up. It's going to be in the dark. But that light's going to get just kiss the tops of stuff and kind of bring it to life. Give it a little bit of light and some color. And see, remember what I said in the beginning? Just some big black blobs and everything looks kind of weird. But yeah, there we go. I mixed a little bit of lighter green. Put some yellows in it. And now we're not going to go down as far, but remember that sunlight's just going to kiss the tops of those little leaves and the bushes. And think of where it is. See, we'll go in between these tree trunks and we'll bring it down. And we'll just automatically leave those shadows behind the tree trunks and the other stuff. As you're doing that, like I said, just think about the sun rays coming through those tree trunks, peeking through, and just kissing the tops of the foliage. That guy out there, he's closer to where the sun origin is, I guess you could say. So it's even lighter. And again, yes, I am popping ahead because I didn't want this thing to be an hour long. And there we go again. An even lighter, more vibrant green with just a hint of white to give it that glimmery, glisteny. You don't want to get too crazy with this, but you want to just bring it alive. Make it pop even more. Give it a little bit more depth. And then I didn't quite like the way it looks, so mixed a little bit more of the darker green, some green and some browns, and touch it up. And that's the beauty of acrylic. You can let it dry, you can just go over it and fix anything. Unlike oils, it takes weeks to dry. You're doing everything wet on wet. It dries pretty quick, so if you don't like something, paint over it. Not to worry. Even this canvas, if you don't like this painting, paint over it. Paint it all white or paint it all a real light tan color, and then go ahead and do another painting on top of it. It's the one thing I do like about acrylics. Now, the working time isn't very long because it does dry so quick. So then I decided, let's see, what do we need? We need a big branch coming from a tree that's off the side of the canvas here. We'll just throw a big old branch in there. Why not? Because again, like Bob Ross says, just a happy little tree. Let's put it in here. It's your world. There's no mistakes. Just happy little accidents. Now we're going to put some dark. That's a dark green. I think it's phthalo green. Might be a little brown in there, or maybe even some blue to darken it up. But yeah, put some leaves in. I don't know. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want some grass. Maybe you don't want none of that. That's all up to you. But yeah, I put some more stuff in just to even get closer, to put a little bit more added depth into it. And I decided, hey, we need something over here. Let's throw some kind of big leafed things, or some kind of grass, or yeah, some kind of leaves. Let's throw something over here. Why not? What's it gonna hurt? I didn't want to make it too busy, but I didn't want to just leave it kind of blah. So yeah, I just added a couple more things. Now again, I am not an artist. I never went to school. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. But I thought I'd show you guys that, hey, if you want to try something, go ahead. Not that hard, really. Figured I'd tell you the steps that I use, what I do, how I do it. So we're coming down to the end. I'm just going to throw some grasses and stuff in here, throw some highlights on, but yeah, you can see that, you know. Just muted colors far away, darks are up close, and it gives you that depth. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, come on back. Click to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you don't mind.
What we do here is go back.